Yep, in the bottom spawn position of Vani Research Station, currently down one game and hailing from Mexico, it is representing Brawl Outset Gaming, JimRising.
And his opponent up here in the top spawn as the Red Zerg from Destination Multi-Game Team. Putting down that early pool, it is Vaisravana.
And as you were saying, just the scouting from JimRising or anyone in this position, you definitely can get a quicker scout. But sadly, JimRising's scout pattern isn't really into the main. It's more to see the third and the natural, which is a good idea. But with an early pool like this, he's got to be very, very careful. While on the other side, Vaisravana is just going to the natural to the in-base natural of JimRising.
Yeah, absolutely. But JimRising, his Overlord here, will be in position to spot the Lings as they move out. And that's as far as he could get, really. This Overlord wouldn't be able to get into the main in time to actually react to this pool. But a 9 pool by Vaisravana, followed up by the gas. This is extremely greedy, extremely aggressive even, the exact opposite of that. So we're going to see...
I was going to be like, not super greedy.
We're going to see speed or banelings coming out of the... Well, probably both, but it depends on which order. Coming out of Vaisravana here, in addition to all these Lings that are going to be barreling towards JimRising's base. JimRising... Same build as last game, nice safe pool expand. So we'll see whether it's safe enough when all these Lings from Vaisravana charge their way across the map, and JimRising, he sees them on their way. And I got so caught up in all the excitement. Let's put this scoreboard up.
Yeah, and JimRising actually doing the same thing. He hasn't got the gas yet because he needs to put more into Lings, but doing the same thing that he did in the previous match in the previous game. Now he has not gone for that gas and won't let him get the banelings, but he needs to get Lings out as soon as possible. There is 4 Lings coming into the main of JimRising, and they will start to work on these drones here. Now there is just enough drones to actually be able to push it back, and Lings popping at a perfect time, and a lot of the Lings of Vaisravana, completely blanked on the name right there for a second, are really going to be negated here, and JimRising may have perfectly got out of that. Yes, he does not have gas, but he does have his natural base up.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Oh, but JimRising, again, I feel like he's overextending a little. He's just moving a little too far forwards, and now moving... if he saw the banelings, that's important, but he's just taking so many free hits on these Lings. They're all on such low health, and... I don't know, he's just being able to hold with this Queen. Of course, a Queen and a Spinecrawler will one-shot a Baneling, but JimRising has to be so careful here. He's going to be harassing these Banelings as they move up. The Queen should be focusing them down. It's the Banelings that are important here, not the Lings, but both those Banelings will go down. However, they do take the Queen and a lot of Lings down with them, but with that Spinecrawler up, JimRising is 100% safe against Vaisravana's pressure for now. And Vaisravana knows this, he's going home.
Yeah, Vaisravana is completely hightailing out of here. The Baneling nest, as we saw, those Banelings done, but he's actually stopped the gas, so we're not going to see any Banelings for a little while. I mean, maybe a few because of his bank, but he knows here he's in a very scary situation. He needs to get his natural up or somehow pressure this. But because JimRising overextended a little, if there's a big swell of Lings here, he may be able to do something. It does not look like he's going out for a natural anytime soon. If he did, though, I'd probably go for the third base just because you're being so aggressive. Or the third base as your natural.
Yeah, JimRising's building a lot of Lings here. I don't know whether he's scared of more pressure coming out, but I don't know. I think he has to do some kind of aggression with this, because Vaisravana is going to be able to catch up in drone count. Where at the end of that, JimRising had 15 drones to 9, which is an enormous lead for this sort of time in the game. But now Vaisravana is just purely droning. He's using these Lings that he has left over to kind of scare JimRising into overcommitting to defense. But I mean, now JimRising should identify this. Yeah, there's the drones coming out from him. 2 more Queens. He's going to be macroing up an extra Spinecrawler just for the extra safety. And yeah, JimRising should be 100% okay now that he knows there's no natural base there yet either. To just send these Lings, maybe get inside, get a scout around, see what's going on in Vaisravana's world, and yeah, then get his tech up, get some gas. Even go for a gasless expand into a lot of roaches could be a good option from here. He's got a lot of things to do.
Yeah, and JimRising had double Overlord, or one at the ramp of Vaisravana and one in the natural base, so he knows everything going on. Vaisravana did try to do a sneaky natural there, at least not putting it down till the Overlord was gone. But for now, JimRising, a couple Lings into the main of Vaisravana, but I mean, yeah, there's just not enough to really get much damage done there. And JimRising looks like he's in an amazing position, plus double Spinecrawler and double Queen at his ramp. Nothing is going to get up there, especially with his natural bases production. He's looking like he's in a fine spot, but not getting any gas, as you were saying. Or actually, right as I say that, gets double gas on his main base. I say Roaches would probably be the best viable option here.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. JimRising, I mean, he's gone for a gasless expand here, which is really greedy. Doesn't work out so well in the face of serious, or the mid-game aggression, but that's exactly what Vaisravana cannot afford to do, because he put so much into his earlier aggression. He's a little bit behind in that drone count, and he will stay that way for a long time, especially as JimRising will lengthen the lead that he has with all the droning that he is able to get done from this gasless expand. Roach Warren there, able to form a wall, especially with the addition of this Evo chamber. The only problem is, if Vaisravana gets away with this very fast third base, which he will do, given that JimRising isn't going to have anything to pressure it, not having speed, not having roaches for a little while, then that could be a key to get to Vaisravana getting back in this game. Especially given that JimRising actually didn't see it. He might think he knows it's not there, because his Overlord, if we look at his vision, it was just there, just like one hex more would actually
it literally just moved out. Yeah, and one thing, at least for Vaisravana, or one thing I would have liked him to do, which would have given him a little bit edge to get back in this game, is not stop at 130 Vespine, but stop at 150, just if you need to get down that Roach Warren, which we see from JimRising. He's got the Roach Warren up and a lot more gas. When these Roaches hit, when he starts producing these, if Vaisravana does not have that Roach Warren down, they're going to hit hard. But Vaisravana is saying, you know what, I'm going to kind of skip that phase. I'm going to go into Hatchery. Maybe he's going to go for some, I really doubt upgraded Roach Hydra. I feel like you'd probably need to get your Roach Warren out already. But, I mean, do you think Mutalisks are an option right here to fight this, especially on 3 base, but still only 1 gas? Or actually 3 gas now.
I think Vaisravana will be going for Roaches, but he is going about it a little bit of an odd way, a little bit of an unusual way. You are correct, going for that lair before the Roach Warren or the Evo Chamber or anything else, but he should be okay. JimRising has his own third base up now, so it's not too much later than Vaisravana's. But Vaisravana has had that extra round of injects or so on that third base, so he's up by 2 drones right now, which is pretty incredible. You consider he had about half the drone count much earlier on in the game after his aggression finish. But JimRising, he's got a bit of a tech lead. His upgrades will be leagues ahead of Vaisravana's. His roach speed, likewise, will have a little bit of a lead. And yeah, we'll see if he decides to push out with that +1 attack. If he does, could do a lot of damage here, as he's up currently 36 army supply to 18.
Yeah. The entire army, the entire army for JimRising is so much better than Vaisravana. Vaisravana here is relying on these couple extra drones in the third base, and the third base being quicker. But he's not producing lings out of that. There's no army here, and there's literally no spine crawlers either. This is looking really, really scary. Vaisravana will spot this roach force coming over, and the roaches do not have roach speed yet. But it's going to be really hard to be able to defend.
Yeah, absolutely. Big supply block at a crucial time for Vaisravana as well. 10 roaches on the way now, but they could have been out by now. JimRising, though, is actually going to get himself kind of stuck here. And as these roaches come down from the main, there could be enough to clean this up here for Vaisravana. He's got a complete surround. JimRising is going to have to move forwards and try and make this a little bit of a better engagement, though. He has killed 11 drones already, and back at home, JimRising has made his way up to 60.
If JimRising can do another swell of roaches, he does have roach speed here. And, the roach speed of Vaisravana is not quite done yet, but, I mean, really, they're just going to negate each other. For a while there, I feel like if JimRising would have waited maybe 3 or 4 seconds to move in there, he would have also hit, or he would have kind of, in the middle of that battle, got roach speed, which would really help him overpower Vaisravana, but now it's actually Vaisravana pushing back, has killed the roaches, and has roach speed. I'd love to see an Overseer with this army just to clear out as much creep as possible, but then again, I mean, it's ZVZ. This is just making the roaches so much more faster.
Vaisravana, not paying attention to his army for a second, moves straight into JimRising's enormous swell of roaches, and now JimRising is able to sort of kite him forwards, catch up, kill off a few more of those roaches there, and now, yes, JimRising's turn to be on the offensive again, and Vaisravana, he doesn't quite have as many roaches. 26 roaches for JimRising to the 21 of Vaisravana, but I don't think it's quite enough. He can't, JimRising can't really attack into the concave, and I don't know, we'll see him trying though. 1-1 roaches against the 0-1 roaches of Vaisravana. JimRising is going to try and get as good a concave as he can, but he does have to back off when Vaisravana's reinforcements come in. That defense advantage is just a little bit too strong for him to overcome. even with his drone advantage. Fourth base going down for JimRising now as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that fourth base is going to just help with this production of the knife fight here. Roach on Roach, it's really going to help him. And going in for another attack, I think he may be overextending again. He's got to be so careful. And the 1-1 is going to be evened out in just a second or two. Vaisravana will have... Actually, I take that back. We're going to see for JimRising 1-2, while Vaisravana is not even on 1-1 yet. This is going to be huge for JimRising. He's got 11 seconds. If he can hold on for now, he can hit really, really hard. But I almost feel like he may have overextended here.
Yeah, JimRising is a little bit too far on creep. Vaisravana is demolishing him with enormous concave. The defender's advantage is just a little too strong, and JimRising, his own reinforcements coming in now, does now have the advantage of that +2 attack, hitting during the fight, but it looks like he is just going to be able to push forwards a little more, but Vaisravana, now the Queen comes into this, he's got to transfuse in just a second now, so JimRising isn't going to quite be able to break it, but with that next wave, he will have two upgrades, or both upgrades in his favor by one, and yeah, he's able to keep the pressure up. At the very least, he's able to keep Vaisravana off of third base and keep teching behind this as well. His burrows come up, his infestation pits come up as well, so JimRising has options to move out of this here. Vaisravana is just barely holding off until he dies.